What's up, Patriots players? What is up? My name is Chris Toledo. Welcome to the Patriots Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11. For those tuning into the podcast for the first time today, the Patriots mindset helps people focus first on the positive, then takes that positive focus and transform life's experiences into usable fuel for personal and professional success. Speaking of personal and professional success on a global scale, we got a special guest in the house today. We're going to hear from my man, kicking it in Tokyo, Japan, former professional basketball player, current professional basketball coach, friend of mine, John Saintignon. John, thank you for hanging out with us today and sharing. What's up, brother?
First of all, Chris, thanks for the invitation. It's wonderful to be with you and all your guests, and I hope that I can share a story with you and maybe provide some inspiration and some positivity to somebody.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, you know what? Johnny, for our listeners out there, I'm going to break down a quick story about John and tell our audience something that exemplifies how humble John is and one of the many reasons why I love and respect you so much. So when I asked John to share his bio with me, how he wanted to be introduced, here's what he replied. My introduction is simple. Just a kid from the south side of Tucson, went to South Point, fortunate enough to go to college and beyond, and now a coach overseas. Hey, John, I know you're a team player, brother, but give us the good stuff. Tell the folks out there tuning in just a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Well, yeah, that's about as simple as I could possibly make it, but there is some more detail that goes along with it, I'm sure. I was fortunate enough to be raised in Tucson, Arizona, and got the opportunity to fall in love with the game of basketball, and it led me to South Point Catholic, where you and I both went to school, and I got an opportunity to see you when I was younger and see just how exciting and of an athlete and a player, and watch you do your thing and how you interacted at the school and off the court. So, it inspired me to be there and to follow in the footsteps of those that came before me. And I'm fortunate there was no distractions, and it allowed me the opportunity to go play college basketball. And so I got the opportunity to go to the University of California at Santa Cruz, and I ended up, after 3 seasons, becoming the leading scorer in the country.
Wait, Johnny, let them know. Leading scorer in the nation. That means that in all of Division I, you were the number one scorer, right? Division
1, 2, and 3. I got the opportunity to lead all of them, and this was before the 3-point line was installed. It came in during my senior season, and again, just fortunate that I had the ability to learn from others and see their drive and their passion. And, I'm sure if the listeners saw me, they would go, that guy's not 6'8", he can't jump out of the gym. He doesn't do any of those things. And, but, I knew what I could do. And if I had a little bit of an opening, I could score. And so that allowed me the opportunity before the onset of social media or the internet or any of that to take those statistics and allowed me to play professional basketball. And so I got the chance to get a contract and play in the Los Angeles Summer Pro League, which got me the opportunity to then therefore be seen by European teams. And I got a chance, and I took it, unknowingly what was to be expected, but it was the next destination point for me. And I got to now see, how it was no longer based upon potential. It was all based upon performance now, and big humans. And so I got the chance to be introduced to the world of hard knocks and falling down, and it was a lot different. And but I got the chance to fulfill a dream, and after my professional basketball career I thought had come to an end, I decided I would venture off into a different world. And that world, led me back to the United States. And I eventually thought, well, I don't know if I could ever coach. I never thought that I could teach the skill set that I know and the drive that I had to those that maybe did not have it. And so I wasn't sure if I could do that. So I became a high school coach and found some successful, any coach is successful when they have great athletes who want to learn from them. They don't have to be great talent. They just have to be willing students who want to be the best that they can be. And so I rose through the ranks as a high school coach, and then eventually got the call one day to go to the Pac-10 conference, now the Pac-12 conference, and at Oregon State University, and I jumped on that opportunity, and then I got the chance to become my own head coach, as I had been speaking around the world, and several times people would ask me if I wanted to coach abroad, and I took a chance. And lo and behold, I've been all over the place, my man. I've been in probably over 9 countries now, and currently I'm here as a head coach in Japan. And this journey has been one of a hero's journey, really. Everybody goes through trials and tribulations and obstacles, and I'm lucky that I stayed on this path because I've met some incredible people on the journey.
Dude, that is so nice. And you know what? I gotta just let the people know. Like, I always thought of you as my little brother. You remember we used to go down to the Central Y, and I knew it. There was a whole bunch of dudes that would be balling down there. But I just remember you, Johnny. Man, you were a scrappy dude. You were scrappy, man, playing with the big fellas and just holding your own. I'm like, yo, that dude over there, he's got a nice little game. But on top of that, man, he's got something inside. Man, Johnny, I can't even tell you, man, I am so proud of you. It gives me so much pleasure to have been a witness to your success, and I really appreciate you coming in and sharing with the peoples here. So if it's good with you, let's go ahead and get into it. I got a couple questions for you.
Of course. I'm ready and willing to take anything. There's nothing off the table, man.
All right, so we've outlined your success that you've had on, at the collegiate, professional, and at the professional level as a player and as a coach. But Johnny, what I never heard from you ever since I've known you is why did you get into hoops? Why basketball?
Okay, so back when I was in Tucson, I think almost everybody is fortunate at some point to have someone who believes in them. And I had a coach named Fernando Fimbres at St. John's School there where I attended that saw something in me and kept encouraging it and allowed me to have a dream and fostered it. He was such an advocate that he allowed, wanted me to go out of the city, which was kind of unheard of, for any kid really, to go and play against kids outside the city. So I went to a basketball camp in Prescott, which had players from Phoenix and its other places, and it was absolutely wonderful because they were detail oriented. These were the best high school coaches that in the state of Arizona at the time that had produced. And man, I went to the classroom. I had to learn from them, had to write stuff down in a notebook and then go and compete, learn new drills. So all that kept me inspired. But again, there's no distractions. TV, we only had maybe 3 channels, maybe a 4th at the time. And so there's no such thing yet as cable or internet or any of that wasn't around just yet. And all I needed was a ball. And I'm lucky that I had a basketball hoop down the street at a school that was down the street from me. And I didn't even need other people, just needed my imagination. And and thankfully, I think that's what it was. Was just this joy of being outside and doing my own thing with it, because Tucson, for your listeners, is a hot and dry, and I just fell in love with the game, and luckily I had older players like yourself and others in the city that took me under their guidance and allowed me to play along with them, wait my turn, pay my dues, perform or don't, but I learned that wow, this was just inspiring to play this game with everybody, and you could just run for days, and it was outside, so I loved it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Johnny, so if you could nail, I know that there's various things, there's various traits that have enabled you to be so successful as a player and a coach. But if you had to boil it down and choose one thing, the single trait that enabled you to be so successful, I know there's several things, but if you had to just point at the thing, probably as a single trait that was the most impactful to become so successful, what would you say that was?
Probably, I'm not sure if the word would probably be persistence, but it was, I woke up before anybody else, and I started working on my game at 5:30 in the morning. And I did that religiously so that I could never look back and say, I never wanted to live with regret. And so I just started to take inspiration in that, because as I got older in high school, I did go to 5-star camp in Pittsburgh, and I saw the best of the best. That was New York City players, Chicago guys, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have that type of athletic ability, but I did have what I had. So I never forgot that I could do more if I woke up earlier. And throughout the day, by the time they woke up, I've already accomplished something already. And I think that mantra held true for the rest of my life, in the game. I constantly did that. I worked on my basketball skills, because it doesn't last forever. The game is a young man's game, and you don't get to play it when you're 40 or 50 years old. So when you have the skill and your body's able to do it, that was the difference. I just paid attention to my craft and went religiously at it.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, gotta add your little story right there. You know what? I'm 61, brother, and I shook this young brother at the gym the other day, so you can't keep playing until you get old. I'm playing with you.
Well,
I'm playing with you, though. Hey.
Yeah, it's going to hurt like never before the next day, or even when adrenaline leaves your body, so you're going to find out.
So as I hear you speak, man, it's like music to my ears. When I was growing up as a player, one thing that I really used was visualization. You know how it is, like you're at the park, you're at the playground by yourself at nighttime, and you're just going through your imagination. So was visualization, was it a part of your growth as a ball player, and is it a part of your coaching?
Oh yeah, for sure. I started, and part of my coaching was to dive into the science of the sport and the science of other coaches, and to see how they operated. So I got a powerful message about visualization a long time ago when I started to see athletes at the Olympics, the sprinters. So I had an opportunity to talk to one of the coaches of one of the Olympic teams, and because I wanted to know, like, how much training are you actually doing these guys, right? And he's like, there's not a lot, because they're so tightly strung. You cannot, because maybe something will an injury will occur if you're going full out speed all the time. So he's like, we sit them down and they run the race in their mind, and they monitored them, and it was the exact same. If they were visualizing it, that they were actually doing